Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us on another amazing Wednesday. We're talking veteran suicide, we're talking veterans, we're talking everything and anything that has to do with your well-being and your existence on this beautiful earth. Today, we have a couple amazing guests that I'm absolutely happy to have. But first, let's introduce Mr. Rob Lason, our amazing, oh, wait, you are amazing. And then we have Mr. Mitch Fuller, as well as Mr. Bobby Withrow. And today we're gonna talk about some amazing things that these guys are doing and really inspire you guys, let you guys know about some legislation, some good things that people are doing in this world that really matter. So, Mr. Fuller, Mitch, let's introduce yourself first, please.
Yes, thank you. And Rob and Dave, it's great to be on with you, and it's a huge honor to be on here with my friend Bobby Withrow, who does amazing things. Veterans helping veterans is a big thing in our community, and Bobby embodies that. So it's great to be on with Bobby. My name is Mitch Fuller. I'm the Director of Government and Public Affairs for the Department of Texas Veterans of Foreign Wars, the Texas VFW. By the way, we turned 100 years old on April 21st. So our charter here in the Texas Department of Texas VFW we were chartered by the National VFW on April 21st, 1921. So for 100 years, the Texas VFW has been taking care of veterans here in Texas. I'm an Iraq War veteran. I was in Iraq with the 56th Brigade Combat Team, Texas Army National Guard, basically for the calendar year of 2005. Did about 9 years of active duty with the Texas Army National Guard in a variety of positions. I was enlisted and I got commissioned. So I'm one of those green to gold officers. I think you make a lot better officer if you were enlisted first. I was a little bit older. I enlisted when I was 28, going to graduate school, Army Reserves, thinking I'll do 6 years. That was before 9/11, and got commissioned in 1999. And then when the planes flew into the Pentagon and the World Trade Center, obviously we all knew, regardless if you were active duty, reserve, National Guard, whatever, you knew you were going to be at war. I've been in politics a little bit too. I was on the Cedar Park City Council. Cedar Park is a suburb of Austin. I was mayor pro tem and a city council member for 7 years, from 2007 to 2014. So I'm a firm believer that veterans, we have a unique skill set, and we have a desire to serve after our military career. I think we can all, I see a lot ahead now, we can all testify to that. We're all here on this, this venue to talk about how we can take care of each other, right? And our families. So, right. It's great to be with you guys.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you for coming on.
You bet.
It's an honor, Mitch.
Yeah. And so, Bobby, talk to us about what you're doing and a little bit about your background, please.
Well, background is 12 years in the Navy as Chief Petty Officer. I got out, messed around a little bit with the railroad and a few other things, and joined the Texas State Guard for 5 years. And I was working for another nonprofit based out of another state, which I don't want to mention them. But everything they raised went back to that state. So after 5 years and seeing how much money was going there, I said, why am I doing stuff for that state, not the state of Texas or any other state? So I started Texas Fallen Project. Everything we raise will go back directly to the families of the fallen, people suffering with PTSD. And as Mitch keeps saying, I help anybody with a need. I don't care who it is. I try to get all the veteran organizations together. If they have a question, if they need help, I can either find them the answer, or I'll give them the answer.
We lost Bobby.
Oh,
that's too bad. I'm sure he'll connect back to us.
Well, back to you, Mitch. Tell us, back to Mitch. Tell us a little more about what you have going on in legislation right now.
You bet. The Texas legislature is unique in the United States. It only meets 140 days every 2 years. So odd numbered years, very unique. And so we spin off into the universe here about the Texas Constitution, how it compares to other states, but they meet infrequently. And that's by design by the Constitution in 1876. So they're in session now.
Right.
The Texas legislature was the last legislature to convene after COVID. So, and that's, again, like I said, they only meet 140 days every 2 years. But like everybody else in the United States, COVID impacted what was open, what was, not open, what was limited, all that. And there was a big debate in Texas and probably in other states too about what was an essential business. Essential,
Right.
What was essential, what was non-essential. Well, last summer our VFW closed were shuttered. So we got about 290 VFW posts in Texas.
Okay.
68,000 members, 20,000 members of our auxiliary. The auxiliary is our family members of our members. So Texas is a large state. So if you think about 290 posts, that's all over the state. El Paso, Texas, is in the Mountain Time Zone. So we've got 2 time zones in Texas. That's how big Texas is. So,
right.
So last summer and fall, our posts were shuttered. We were classified if any of our posts had an alcohol license, they were considered a bar, and that was unacceptable to us. So we got wrapped into you're a bar, all the bars are closed, and so we've got we went to the media, and so I was an appointed state legislative chairman beginning last July. And this is a full-time position I'm in now. So I'm a paid employee of the Texas VFW, and that started March 1st.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And so our efforts at the state capitol in Austin have been around legislation that, God forbid, we go through this again. Any future emergency orders that any governor takes, it's not just about this governor, but any future governor, you don't get to close us. So if nail salons and tanning beds, and here's one that made it just mind-bogglingly stupid. Strip clubs were open. So a lot of bars, if you had an alcohol license, you were able to, so a lot of us were given the option, well, just reclassify as a restaurant, go through that bureaucracy, jump through that hoop. And, you guys live in large cities, so you go to a bar in Los Angeles or, Dallas or San Antonio or any large city, a bar. A lot of them already have food handlers licenses and are already doing all that stuff. So they've worked it out with their county and their city. And they've got a full menu. So in Texas, it's, just 51% or more of your sales go to alcohol, then you're classified as a bar. That's the legal definition of a bar. Our posts, our VFW posts, we have canteens. We're not a bar. We make just because you have an alcohol license. So because of that, all our posts were closed. We couldn't get into our buildings. So I know, we're talking about suicide prevention, not awareness. Awareness is a good thing to say too, but it's about prevention. And that's what I love about what this venue is about prevention. And if we can't get our members into our homes, our post homes, and that's what we call them, to help them, because veterans feel comfortable around other veterans. I think we can all testify to that. There's 4 veterans on this call. We feel most comfortable talking about any of our demons, inner demons, or struggles, all that stuff with our fellow veterans. There's 4 of us on here. We got a bond. We haven't, I've known Bobby a long time. I shake hands with Bobby and hug Bobby. I see you, Rob and Dave. I'm going to shake your hand and hug you too. Because that's who we are.
He's a hugger.
As our community, right? So
Me too.
The legislative efforts have been around that, that legislation. And so last week it was great. We had a good turnout. And so the Texas Senate, its Business and Commerce Committee, heard 2 of our bills. So the state commander and myself, we were on the floor of the Texas Senate. That's where the committee met, testifying for those bills. There's about 35 or 40 other bills in Texas here we're working on. A lot of them are tied to mental health access. Texas has a Texas Veterans Commission. The state of Texas does a lot of great things. Bobby and I would agree with this. We're blessed to live in Texas because there has been for a long time things that the state of Texas does to augment what the federal government does. So the Texas Veterans Commission. So there's a lot of stuff about workforce transition, access to mental health, mental health sort of training for caregivers. I testified on a bill Monday here in Texas to ensure that, caregivers, the VA and the Texas Veterans Commission work with caregivers, so a spouse or somebody to take care of the veteran, so they understand some stuff about mental health. So, there's a variety of legislative efforts, and I'm going to get more involved this year too on the federal side, on the National VFW Legislative Committee. I'm really excited about that. So, legislative advocacy is a key point about what the VFW does. Nationally, I mean, when you see these hats, and Bobby and I are both members of the American Legion too. I'm a member of that organization as well. So if you see, everybody recognizes this. This is the overseas service cap. It's been around 100 years. So World War I veterans started wearing these after the First World War. So everybody understands the impact of this. And so my task here in Texas for the Texas VFW is to ensure that we have a presence at the state capitol. We can't endorse candidates. We don't care what political party you're in. Our community's got left, right, middle. Our issues are nonpartisan and bipartisan. We can't endorse candidates. We don't get involved in the partisan stuff. We're all Americans individually. Right. We've got our opinions, of course, First Amendment, all that stuff. But we got to be present in Texas and nationally, because that's why the VFW was founded. The VFW helped start the Veterans Administration. The VFW helped start the Texas Veterans. Yeah, absolutely. So when you go talk to a service officer at a VFW post, VFW started all that stuff. So I mean, we got to keep telling our story about that.
Thank them, for doing that. Thank them for starting that.
Yeah. So I can talk forever about the legislative advocacy stuff, but
Mitch, this is good information. We need to hear. There's a lot of veterans out here that need this information, because
if veterans are listening,
we need people like you fighting for us, Mitch, because we support you. Whatever you got going on, we support you all the way. So
any good VFW post and American Legion post, I would add to, but I'm speaking for the VFW. Every VFW post has a service officer who and that's a volunteer position, but their job is to help a veteran with their VA claim. That's what a service officer does. So every VFW post has a service officer. Some are better than others, but any VFW post should its key focus, one of its top things it's focused on is helping a veteran with their VA claim. I mean, that's the heart of what we do. So the VFW, we've got to do a better job of attacking, let's just be frank, some of the stereotypes that a lot of people may have about what a VFW post is when you walk in. But it's, like I said, in Texas, we're 100 years old. The VFW was founded in 1899.
Wow.
Congressionally chartered. It's a congressionally chartered organization, chartered in 1936 by Congress, by the 74th Congress. So those are the core principles that we're focused on. So we're not, just because you have an alcohol license, and what that allows is revenue that pays for a building, employees, property, a place. And VFW posts are centerpieces of the community. You go especially to a lot of smaller communities. My VFW post in Leander, Texas, we support 3 Boy Scout troops. We donate our space to them. So there's 3 Scout troops that meet. There are other community organizations that meet. In Texas, we over $2.1 million of direct contributions from our VFW post in Texas to other community service, other organizations. That's real money, real dollars added up. We got scholarship programs for middle school and high school students. So, but if our posts are closed, let's go back to how we started. If our posts are closed, shuttered, because somehow we're classified as a bar, and we're not bars.
Right.
That's the problem. That causes isolation. I know that the topic of this is suicide prevention. And
that can cause suicide. If you're taking away a veteran support. The VFW, you guys are over there trying to help veterans and have a safe place for them to go and get their mind off things. And when they're shutting down the VFW, our veterans, they don't have nowhere to go.
Exactly right.
They're just leaving them. Yeah, I mean, that's the wrong answer.
And there's nothing wrong with going and having a beer and that absolutely and sitting down and man, I just need to talk to somebody and have a beer with me and let me get some stuff out off my chest. And I think we've all been through that. Hell, I'll bet every damn one of us have cried, talking about, stuff, personal stuff, whatever, and you need to do that. And our VFW posts are places to do that. So,
yeah. Mitch, I want to come back with a couple of things to you in a sec.
Sure.
So think about this. Think about a couple of tangibles. What I'm talking about is tangibly, what can people do to support the VFW?
Okay.
And tangibly, what does the VFW do? And you discussed some of that, but I want you to go into a little more detail so people understand the resources that are available to them and how to support the resources that are available to them through the VFW. All right? And Bobby, you left us. We weren't pretty enough for you. Talk to us, brother. You were talking about the Fallen Project and the things that you're involved in. So let's recap there.
Yes, sir. Texas Fallen Project, as I said, after working for that other nonprofit for 5 years and seeing how much money was leaving the state of Texas, and it happens in other states that nonprofit is in as well. It all goes back to the one state. And my feelings are, if I'm showcasing family, the fallen here in Texas, that money should stay here in Texas. Just like if I go to California, that money should stay in California, or so on. I'm building another memorial for the fallen here in Texas. Once I get done with it, I'll go to Florida, then I'm going to Arizona, then Oklahoma. And all that money in each of those states will stay in those states to help the families. And basically do what I'm doing here. And I help in my charter, in my bylaws, I wrote that I can help anybody in the name of Texas Fallen Project. As long as I say I'm here helping you for my nonprofit, I'm good to go. And I did that on purpose because I do, like I said earlier, I do cancer benefits for people that are not veterans, but they've got veterans in their families. So I'm still helping veterans. I don't care who I help. And we get money donated specifically for that event we're doing. I've got 3 cancer benefits. The food's donated already. I don't have to pay it. All I got to do is go cook. So it's not costing anybody anything, really, for my nonprofit. And I don't mind. I don't make anything out of it other than getting my name out there as the Texas Fallen Project.
You know what? Let me ask you the same questions. Tangibly, what does the Texas Fallen Project do in Texas?
What I do is my main goal is to build a memorial for all of our fallen since 9/11 and carry it around the state so that the families can have a place to go and see their son and other people can see what war has done. How many people from the state? There's over 630 Texans just from the state of Texas that have died since 9/11 in combat. There's that many more that have been killed, in service to the country, not in combat. So there's a lot, and it's affecting everybody. Which with COVID, of course, I couldn't do anything. I was shut down just like anybody else. I've been serving Meals on Wheels, cooking for them, and whatever else I can the whole time. They're irreverent warriors. I've been helping them a lot. I've cooked for them a few times. But anything we can do, we do. Mitch has been out there a lot, busting his butt. Not only for the VFW, like we said earlier, he's doing it for the irreverent warriors, getting out there, talking to people. They've got an awesome system where when they go do a hike, they put armbands on people that have done them for a while. They'll get it like a black armband, and then the new ones will have a different armband, so they know who to go target. Say, this guy needs help, so we go talk to them.
Wow. Okay.
When are your hikes? When's the next hike? Is there a hike coming up, or?
They have hikes all over the country. How many hikes they got? 240 something.
It's about Bobby. It's about and Bobby's being very modest. He's awesome. There's about 70 hikes across the country.
Wow. So they go across the country.
Right. It's not, the Irreverent Warriors was, real quick, was founded in 2015 by a Marine veteran. Donnie O'Malley from California, from San Diego, and it was about attacking isolation and having that sense of camaraderie. So their motto is very simple: Irreverent Warriors brings veterans together through humor and camaraderie to prevent veteran suicide.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Hike is too strong of a word. It's not an athletic event. A lot of people ruck up and fill their ruck with pounds and so I've done 8 of them. Bobby's have been a bunch of them, and I'm 53 years old, so my butt's out there hiking, walking, which is good.
I want to catch one of those hikes. I'm trying.
Yeah,
I got look
at their website. But Rob, there's some in California. Okay. Oceanside, I think, is passed, but
I'll come down to Texas for a hike.
Galveston, June 12th.
Yeah. June 12th. I'll see you there. June 12th.
Round Rock, which is a suburb of Austin, October 23rd. And as Bobby knows, that's kind of our area here in the Austin area, the Austin Round Rock hike. Hey, it's about 9, 10, 11 miles. There's stops along the way. You're well fed. You're well supplied. There's volunteers. But it works. And it gets veterans outside exercising. We've all been in road marches.
It sounds like some good camaraderie, with all the guys getting together and going for a hike and stuff.
A lot of younger veterans and men and women veterans. I'll make sure we don't forget on this forum here, the debate about women in combat is over. Women are in combat. They have been. I can testify to that. I've been in a Humvee in Iraq with a female man in a 50 caliber machine gun in a Humvee. I mean, it's over. Women are in combat, and there are a lot. Yeah, there are a lot
of women that show up.
They're absolutely. And Bobby, I think I've been to a couple of 3 hikes in the last 6 weeks: Tulsa, Oklahoma, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and then Fort Worth, was this past Saturday. It's about 1 in 3, if I had to guess. One female and 3, kind of a 3-to-1 ratio. And you don't have to be a combat veteran to be in this hike. And let's make that clear too. Just because somebody we all signed a contract, raised our right hand and said we'll support and defend the Constitution and kill the enemies of the United States and all that. And some of us have been in combat, some of us haven't. And who cares? We've all worn a uniform. So that's a great organization. And Dave, back to your question, and I want to talk about partnerships in a second because we all got to be talking to each other. Let's make sure we're not siloed, the organizations. But the VFW can help with your VA claim. Let's start there. You should be able to walk into a post here in Texas. A lot of posts, my post, for example, we don't have a lot of money, but a veteran who says, "Man, I just need some gas money. I need one time." For one veteran, one time only for them, we can write a check for $200 for somebody. And that doesn't sound like a lot of money. That's my post. That's one post.
No, that'll get you down the road. That'll get a veteran down the road to get a job or
we don't. VFW post, right. Yeah.
Let me ask you: is that just your post, or is that any VFW?
No, that's just my post.
Okay, so
a post. Let's make sure we're clear. A VFW post is a nonprofit organization. It's a 501c19 organization. So some posts have that ability. Hey, here's a couple $100. One time for them and one time only. So my post is one veteran per month, one time only. And we can also do.
So anybody in Texas, if you're out of gas, contact Mr. Mitch, and we'll get you over to his VFW and get you $200 in gas.
No, you're killing me, Rob.
Mitch is going to be coming out of pocket this month.
Oh, you're killing me.
Okay, let me. So I want to make sure that we're nice and clear with this. Yeah. If someone is in Texas near your post and a veteran, and they're struggling, and they just need something to get by.
Right.
You guys will give them a couple $100 to get by.
One veteran. This is my post. I just want to use this as an example I want to keep kind of. So if a veteran walks into our post and we haven't utilized that, and it's in our bylaws, we haven't utilized that thing yet. Give them $200, and we can. The Texas VFW also has a 501c3 foundation.
Okay.
So there's access to more financial assistance.
Oh, wow.
You got to provide your tax returns. So say, hey, I need help with my rent, my car. There's a lot of documentation that goes into that, and that's screened and vetted. So your tax return, your mortgage, your lease on your apartment, whatever the case may be. And so there's access to other financial assistance more, but you got to step up and help us help you, for lack of a better
Yeah.
term. I don't want to
And
get off.
that's what the canteens. That's what the canteens help fund.
Right.
The
That's why they
canteens
need
raise
to be
money.
open. Them
Right.
canteens need to be open for these veterans to get help that they need. Yeah.
Right.
So we talk
financial.
about,
I don't want to get. There's not a lot of money out there, so this is not.
Yeah.
This is not a gift. It's a bridge, if you will. So if somebody walks into a VFW post in Texas, some of them may not have that capability. It's like Post X in Dallas can't say, well, we can't do that. But here is the Texas VFW Foundation, a 501c3 organization. If you need help, call this number. You're going to have to provide some documentation because, frankly, look, we know we've all come across pretenders and wannabes. We want to help our fellow veterans and their families, but sometimes they have to help us help them too. But we've all been down on our luck.
Yeah,
we've all been there, man.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
well, more importantly than $200, you sit down with veterans to help them fill out their claim, and that can be far more than $200 a month.
Oh, right.
And that can really, I'm 100% PT, permanently and disabled because of a freaking spine injury, it's a lot of money that you guys are helping people access. And I have friends that I retired with that didn't access what they've earned, what they've paid into, what they signed up for. So that's, just knowing that they could walk in or make an appointment and sit down with a professional to go over their medical records, to help them fill out the claims, to make sure that they're accessing money that is there for them, is a huge deal. So other tangible, sir?
Okay, we talked about benefits. We talked about financial assistance. Let's talk about community involvement as well. And so a tangible, if somebody is a veteran, they need to join a veteran service organization because our legislative advocacy is strength in numbers. So, when I'm walking the halls of the Texas Capitol, I'm speaking on behalf of 68,000 members of the Texas VFW, but there are 1.7 million veterans in Texas. If you're a veteran, join a veteran service organization. There's a bunch of great ones out there. And if you're VFW qualified, the F, foreign, you set foot on foreign soil, you've been in hostile water. So there's a whole list of the obvious, but there's a whole list of foreign operations that you're qualified to be in the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And that's the key difference between the American Legion and the VFW. Any honorable service, anywhere, anytime, you're qualified to be in the American Legion. And so the VFW and the Legion are the two largest, oldest, kind of what's called legacy. I don't really like that word, but legacy veteran service organizations. They're both over 100 years old. And they're great. Right. And they do legislative advocacy. I'm a member of the American Legion too. I'm more focused with my time and energy on the VFW, but tangible route to Dave, to your question, join the VFW. And a tangible benefit that we all provide to our communities is a place for other community organizations to meet. One of the oldest programs in the VFW is our Patriots Pen and Voice of Democracy. So if you're a parent out there and you've got a middle school, grade 6 through 8, or a high school student, grade 9 through 12, that's been a decades-long program, scholarship program. So it's an essay contest. There's a theme every year. Patriots Pen, grades 6 through 8, and high school, grades 9 through 12. And you can get thousands of dollars of scholarship, post level, district level, department, state level, and then the national level. And you can do it more than once. You can start in grade 6, do it every year, the Patriots Pen for 3 years, and then go to high school, do the Voice of Democracy for 4. And we've got kids in Texas. Bobby has seen this. We got kids in Texas who graduated from high school and they've done this program. They got $30,000 or $35,000 of total scholarship money because they win, place at the various levels. So that's a real tangible benefit.
Wow.
That's about our families. I want to read to y'all. It's going to take just a second. The 7 purposes that are in our congressional charter. So we were chartered. The VFW of the United States was chartered by the 74th Congress on May 28, 1936. The purposes of this corporation are fraternal, patriotic, historical, charitable, and educational, and are 1, to preserve and strengthen comradeship among its members, talking to each other, being together. 2, to assist worthy comrades. Talk a little bit about, assistance. 3, to perpetuate the memory and history of our dead and to assist their surviving spouses and orphans. Bobby's doing all that. Texas Fallen Project. That's the purpose number 3 of the VFW Congressional Charter. 4, to maintain true allegiance to the government of the United States and fidelity to its constitutions and laws. 5, to foster true patriotism. 6, to maintain and extend the institutions of American freedom. And 7, to preserve and defend the United States from all enemies. I will tell you one of the highlights of my life. We were asked March 26th, this legislative session, there is a Senate Bill 4. If a bill has a low number, it's a priority. And Bobby knows where I'm going with this. The author of the bill and the Texas Senate asked us, and that was me, to testify on behalf of the national anthem bill. So there's been a lot of debate about what to do. We all have our opinions. I'm glad we live in a free country. I don't like what some people do during the national anthem. That's just my opinion. As you know, we all have our opinions. We are blessed with the First Amendment, but this bill is pretty simple. If you're a professional sports team in Texas and you get any public money from any level, the state, the county, the city, and by the way, that's going to be hard to find, just in Texas, but in the United States, because so many localities incentivize. There's tax incentives, all sorts of financial incentives. Man, we need this team here. We need this NFL team here. We need this NBA team here. It's going to be great for our economy. All that's true. When I was on my city council, we've got the Dallas Stars. Their top level minor league hockey team plays in my city, and so we made that deal with them. And there's public money in that. So the Senate Bill 4 said if you have any public money, you will play the national anthem. Now, what this bill doesn't say, you have to stand, you can't kneel. There's no talk about personal freedom and expression. But we believe in the VFW that the national anthem is a civic institution. The VFW got 5 million signatures in 1931 on a petition to make the Star Spangled Banner the national anthem. Wow. So I didn't know that until a couple of weeks ago when I started doing research. So we testified on that bill. State Senator Brian Birdwell, who's a state senator here in Texas, was wounded in the Pentagon on 9/11. So he was in the Pentagon on September 11th, 2001. He walked off the dais after my testimony and coined it. The national anthem bill, So we believe that the national anthem is a civic institution, and you can do whatever you want. I don't like it when I go to a hockey game and the Stars are playing and people yell Stars when the word Stars is. I like to be quiet and quietly salute it, because we can salute it as veterans. But I'm glad we live in a country where you can express yourself, but it will be played. That's the bottom line. The national anthem will be played. So, Dave, to your point, a tangible. We, as veterans, the VFW, that's one of our, number 5 to foster true patriotism. It's a part of the fabric of this country, and if you want to kneel, I don't like that. But we've all fought, we've all worn the uniform so people can do what they want. There's a freedom of expression in this country, and that's fine. But if you go to a professional sports game in Texas, the national anthem will be played.
You're going to hear the national anthem. You heard everybody, when you're in Texas, you're going to hear the national anthem.
You don't hear
So
it there. You
that's
hear
our
it blasting out of my
congressional
car.
charter. Dave, and so Dave, to your
Dave,
point
play
about
it for us
tangibles.
one time. We want to hear the national anthem on the U.S. Veterans page. Hold on. Here we go. Turn it up.
What were you saying, Mitch?
I hope that helps answer your question a little bit when you talk about tangibles.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The seven purposes of our congressional charter. So honor our dead. I mean,
Absolutely.
well,
a lot of
what
people
Bobby's
died
doing.
for that flag. They
There you
died.
Yeah,
for
there
that,
you go.
for our country, and they need to be remembered and be honored. It's a lot of people don't understand. They come here and they don't understand. This is something that means a lot to a lot of people here, and for them to pass judgment on a lot of us, for a song and everything. That means a lot to a lot of people here. A lot of people before them, they died, and lost their lives. And I agree, Mitch. We should honor our song, honor that song. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
the cancel culture is getting out of hand. It's just like with the Eyes of Texas that the University of Texas plays. Just because it's played some other tune, they want to cancel the Eyes of Texas. Just ridiculous BS,
I want to make sure that we don't go down this road too much because I'm all about offering tangibles to people. I want when people see these videos that they know that they can go to the VFW and get resources that's going to change the trajectory of their life, right?
Well
filling out those forms, getting help, getting assistance, getting a couple $100 can literally change the trajectory of your life. It can keep you from killing yourself. It can keep you from killing somebody else. So I love these tangibles. Thank you, Mitch. Bobby, you said something that really resonated with me. Humor and camaraderie.
Well, that was actually Mitch, but
That was Mitch, but your organization's motto. And that's a huge deal because sometimes that's all it takes is a laugh, a hug, a walk, a joke with someone else.
yeah, that's the irreverent warrior that does all that. Warriors. But I support them wholeheartedly. I do a lot. Like I said, I've cooked for them before. I'll be doing it again. They do a lot of amazing work, and they take care of everybody. But I'm a big resource for them. When they need something, they'll contact me, and if I don't have the answers, I'll find the answers. Just like with the VFW, the American Legion, we're taking care of each other, and it's growing. At one time in this area, there were a lot of groups that got together and did what I'm trying to get going, but everybody got, I want all the donations. I'm going to do this all by myself, which is stupid. We all have to work together. As one, we can maybe save one. Together, we can save a lot. And that's the whole point that I'm trying to make with everybody. I don't care who you are. I'm going to help. I don't care if you want my help or not. I'm going to.
Well, you know what? A confused mind doesn't know what to do. And I truly believe that a lot of people don't know what resources are out there for them and where to go. And so they go, well, I see this and this and this and this. And I go, who can help me right now? Because I'm about to jump off a bridge. And I just need a freaking talk. I just need somebody needs to just listen to me. And a lot of people are going, where, who, who's gonna listen to me? And I think the answer is everyone.
Yes.
If you walk into any office, any building, anything that has veteran on it, someone there is there to listen to you, wants to listen to you, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mark says, I will. Mark's going to listen also. Hey, Rob, you had a few questions, right?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So Bobby, you're doing a lot of stuff. I see you were at a PTSD event last week. It seems like you're doing a lot of stuff for the veterans on a daily basis. I see you all over the social media. Bobby barbecuing with all the veterans, just doing a lot of stuff for the veterans, man. It's really an honor, Bobby, to have you on the show and kind of just talk to you for a moment. But I see you're doing a lot of stuff, and I just want to thank you wholeheartedly for all the guys out there that you spend time with every day. And honestly, Bobby, I was kind of feeling low one day, and I seen your live stream, and I seen you talking in your car, and I was like, I just listened, man. I listened, and I was like, I was just really feeling what you were saying, and I kind of agreed, and it helped me get through a lonely night one night, believe it or not, man. Just sitting there listening to you talk. Yeah. So thank you for getting on social media and sharing with a lot of people, because you never know who you're going to touch, whose heart you're going to touch, you know? So,
that's a big thing, what you're saying right there. You know, on social media, all you ever see is bad stuff, bad, everywhere you look. What's wrong with us getting on there and saying positive things? And I get slammed for doing that, but you know what? If people don't see good parts of humanity, they're not going to know what it's about. So get out there and blast what you do. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm working with a World War II vet right now. His wife fell and broke both her legs a couple years ago, and she's getting ready to come home basically to die, and that's the whole thing. But we had to go in, gut the master bedroom, bathroom, everything, and redo everything. I've got everything donated. We'll have it done tomorrow. It'll be complete, so she'll be able to come home this weekend. But that's, you know, even just posting that, people, well, why are you posting that? It's like, because this is showing people that there are good people out there. You know, I'm tired of what's that clown's name that plays basketball slamming the police officer. You know, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear good, positive things.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I'm a motivational speaker and a life coach, and I post on social media daily, 2 times a day. And I get daily messages from people, random people, saying thank you. And so when you're doing that, know that you are making a difference. Even if people aren't reaching back out and saying thank you, you are making a difference when you're spreading positivity. And along that note, if you're on social media and all you keep seeing is negative stuff or negative people,
that's depressing. That's depressing.
Hold on, Rob. Let me finish this, because this is a big deal. Yeah. This is a big deal. It means that you keep stopping and looking at that stuff, and the algorithm for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube senses how long you're stopping on that picture, how long you're stopping on that video, and it thinks you like it because you're showing that you're interested, and it's going to continue to show that person's stuff and more stuff like him or her. So I urge you to get out your negative space and get into positive space. Start following me, start following Bobby, start following people that are actually spreading positivity, right? And you're going to see that more on your news feed. The end. So follow positive stuff, because the negative crap ain't gonna do you any good. I promise.
Dave, you gotta tell Bobby and Mitch. You actually, Dave just wrote a book. Tell them about your book, Dave.
Yeah.
Share a little bit about that, or he's positive.
I'm kind of a big deal. No, I'm kidding.
I'm kind of a big deal.
No, you know what, guys? I'll tell you, and everybody listening, real quick. I grew up in the hood, in the ghetto, in the projects, and I would be dead if I didn't join the Air Force. I would be dead if I didn't have a guardian ad litem, a CASA, like a big brother that's appointed by the court, that was in the Air Force. He was a pilot in the Air Force named Ron Barnick, and he was appointed to me as my CASA because I was in a boys camp when I was 12. My first arrest when I was 11 for armed robbery. So I had a felony conviction, 11 years old, armed robbery. 12 years old, I shot my stepdad that was beating me and my mom. I didn't kill him, but I shot him. They took me out the house. Ron Barnick enters my life when I'm about 15, and Ron's in the Air Force, and I'm going over Ron's house, and he's showing me stuff from all over the world, right? Little trinkets from Japan, little trinkets from Italy, this, that, the other, right? And it changed. That person changed the trajectory of my life because I'd been dead. All right. I was crazy. I had nothing to live for. After my mom died, I had no family. I had no one. I tried to kill myself. And so fast forwarding, he saved my life from just being there, right? Just playing an active role, as you guys are doing with different communities, right? With veterans, you guys are playing active roles because you've gotten over the shit that your life may have been like, right? You've gotten over all of this stuff and you said, I got over it with help, because I guarantee you didn't get over any issues without help, right? I guarantee you that. And so one of you guys, I don't want to, if you want to share it, but one of you guys have attempted to or wanted to commit suicide, right? So I understand what that's like, and you don't get out of that headspace without help. So I wrote the book, fast forwarding a lot of stuff in between, 24 years in the Air Force, martial arts schools, blah, 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 and mentoring programs, doing stuff for other people, because I know that one thing, one person, one moment can change someone's life. Someone listening to this is why I'm doing this, right? Why I'm involved with this. Someone that's just listening to this, Mark, that's just listening right now. Something that Bobby says, something that Mitch says can go, boom.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. The rest of his life has totally changed. Not implying, Mark, that your life needs to change, but it takes one little thing, right? So I wrote a book about my life, but really the book is about impact. It's about helping people when they open those chapters up, those pages up, and they go, that's me today. Look it. Sensei Dave, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, something goes click. And the rest of their life has changed. So, anyways, you got me on a roller coaster. The amazing Rob. I could talk all day, right?
No, thank you, Dave. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So,
wow. You got some trivia, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do a little trivia, a little. Mental health trivia.
Woo. Listen up.
Yeah. Okay. First trivia question. There you go.
How do we get suicide off our veterans' minds? How do we get suicide off of our veterans' minds? Mitch, what's your answer to that, sir?
Well, I think we got to stop isolation. Isolation, when we've all been inside of our own head. Oh my gosh, and sometimes some of us have gone deep and way too deep. So it's about it's preventing isolation. And I'm glad that the suicide hotline is going across there. I meant to say that earlier. Thank you for putting it up. Talk to somebody, please. Talk to somebody, please. Everybody's life is worth it. We're all valuable human beings. Everybody's life is worth it. And I want to give a shout out to another organization. I think we're all familiar with 22 Kill, 22 Kill organization. So www.22kill.com. They started in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and so this it's on the trigger finger, and it's about suicide awareness and prevention. And so 22 Kill, let me give them a shout out too. They had a booth at the Hike in Fort Worth, and you'll see them a lot. That's a great organization, and they've got access to wind therapy, other programs. So I'm all about partnerships. I completely agree with Bobby. Man, there's 1.7 million veterans in Texas. I want to help every damn one of them and their families. Back to the core purposes of the VFW. It's about veterans and their families, because there's a lot of causes of suicide: financial stress, marital stress, you get out of the military, the transition doesn't work out very well. You miss being around your brothers, and especially if you were a killer. If you were a door, you kicked in doors, and I don't want to diminish any of the other services, but if you were in the Army and the Marine Corps after 9/11, you were on the ground doing a lot of seriously, rough stuff in a lot of cases. And I've met a lot of these younger veterans, and so I'm a post 9/11 veteran, but I'm a little bit older than my cohort who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. I met a lot of young ones, a lot of soldiers and Marines in particular, who've seen a lot of serious combat. And that transition from a small unit, we all love our country and all that, but we've all heard this lesson. We've all probably felt it. You're fighting for the person to your left and your right. We love our country, we love our flag, but it's really about the person to your left or your right. So that transition. So a lot of times when veterans get out and they're out of the military, they lose that sense of camaraderie, purpose, mission, all of that. They get inside their own head. So talk to somebody, find a fellow veteran, call the suicide hotline. Please talk to somebody. We've all been in our own, and start with isolation. Don't be by yourself. Don't combine that with alcohol or drugs or narcotics or any of that. That just exacerbates everything as well. That's another legislative thing I'm very personally passionate about. We need to legalize cannabis.
Okay.
Medical cannabis. That's something the VFW is at. The National VFW has testified before Congress. Medical cannabis. I have my own personal beliefs. I know we all know veterans who the VA gives them 7 pills. Here's 4 pills for your pain. Here's 3 pills for your anxiety and your PTSD. What the hell is that doing to your liver and your kidneys? All the pharmaceuticals.
It's doing a lot to your liver and your kidneys.
Actually, this guy right here, okay, he died by suicide because he was over medicated from the VA. He died because he was over medicated when he came back from deployment. And I think somebody like him, when you guys are giving some kind of medicine, you'd be better off with maybe some kind of cannabis for our veterans instead.
Right. Well, right here in Texas, it's interesting you say that. Bobby's familiar with this organization. My VFW post hosts them.
That's where I was at this weekend.
Yeah, the Chad O Foundation, and I was at the Fort Worth Hike. So, every year, it's been 13 years. So, Rob, that picture you just showed, Bobby and I know a family here in Central Texas, exactly the same thing. Young
Corporal
Marine.
Chad O Foundation.
Corporal Chad O Foundation. You can Google that too. That's an organization in Texas that helps veterans with PTSD. So, Chad O. Oleg Schlager. Oleg Schlager. Thank you. His dad's Eric. We know him as O. Bobby. It's a Chad O Foundation. But exactly the same thing you just put up, Rob. Accidental overdose of narcotics. So you got Janice O. Lutz there, Lance Corporal, and we got Chad O here in Texas, and they're 2 of many examples, and that's awful. It's just awful. So, the mental health trivia you put up. Let's start with preventing isolation. Let's make sure we got love and support, for our veterans. And I tell you what, I've seen it save marriages. It's saving lives. If somebody's, their mental health is good. I had a divorce waiting on me when I got back from Iraq. Divorce is a horrible byproduct of military service, unfortunately. But there's a lot of causes of that. But isolation, we got it. Everything goes bad if somebody's isolated.
Yeah, I agree. Bobby, how about yourself? What do you think? How can we get the thoughts of suicide out of our veterans' minds?
In my case, what I did is I started helping people, and instead of turning to the drugs, the alcohol, I turned into helping more people. I started cooking. I started helping people. I started helping people.
I just did a video, Bobby. Sorry to cut you off. I just did a video yesterday on just this. I specialize working with teens, right? And their parents and mentors. And I just did a video on this yesterday, talking about how gratitude talking about how helping other people can fill such a void in your life.
It is my drug.
You feel so alive, and chemically in your brain, endorphins, serotonin. I'm big on my degrees in psychology, so I'm big on psychology and what your brain does and why your brain does it. And when you feel gratitude, when you are helping someone, oh my goodness. Sorry to cut you off. I agree.
That's all right.
I agree. Can you tell?
I've got some amazing people in my life. I was down in Goliad, Texas. I don't know if you know who Bum Phillips was. He was one of the greatest football coaches ever. Coached Houston Oilers and New Orleans Saints. His widow lives down there in Goliad. And I was sitting down there, and every time I go visit, I have to go to church with her on Sunday. I can't leave until I go to church with her on Sunday, and that's her rules. I said, she asked me, at one time, she asked me if I go to church often. I go, being on the road, because I'm on the road a lot, I don't get a chance to. She go, that's okay, because what you do, that is your church. You are out there preaching every day what you do. And there's so many people out there in this world that need to hear what I do. So she said, that's okay. I mean, you don't have, it's not four walls. It's where you're at that dictates church. That's what it is.
That's awesome, Bobby.
Absolutely.
Amen, Bobby. Amen. Yeah.
That's a great tangible. Both
God
of
is
them.
good.
So don't.
Bum Phillips was Earl Campbell's coach. To put this in perspective, so the Houston Oilers of the '70s, who could not get past the Pittsburgh Steelers, Bradshaw and that crew in the '70s. That's Earl Camp. Bum Phillips is a legend in Texas. So if you follow football at all, and Bobby, I didn't know that part of the story. Thanks for sharing that. I saw that on Facebook.
Didn't Baylor just win the
championship? Basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball. Go Baylor. Yeah.
There you go.
I can't share this with you. I'm sitting in Greece. I don't follow any sports anymore.
No, we don't follow sports here either, so it's all right.
Wow. You're in Greece, Dave?
I am.
Wow.
Yeah. After I retired, I sold my martial arts schools and came to really live life, because boy, Greeks know how to live, you guys.
Good for you, man.
That's awesome. I may be taking a trip to Greece now.
Come on. I got a nice place for you to lay your head. A really nice place to lay your head.
Hey, we'll take it.
We'll tour guide.
We'll do a hike. We'll do a hike for the irreverent. We'll go up to Greece.
You're hiking Athens.
And do a hike.
Yeah.
Rob, every time you say hike, man, I think about this. So no, I won't be hiking, unfortunately, but that's okay. I'm breathing. Hey, my arms work great, and I got big biceps. So, but my back doesn't work so well. But that's all right.
That's okay, Dave. You can barbecue and wait for us at the bottom of the hill. We'll just come back down for lunch.
Yeah, Mitch, Bobby, look at this. Is what my back did look like. You see that broken spine?
Oh,
nice.
My gosh. Wow.
And when people tell me, oh, my back hurts, or oh, I got a slipped disc, I think about that picture.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man.
It's no bueno. Hey guys, we're gonna start wrapping up. Any alibis, Bobby? Anything that you'd like to leave people with today?
Just get out there and help your neighbors. Check on your neighbors. It doesn't matter what they are. There's still a lot of people hurting. I know people in California and whatever, they're still shut in. I mean, we're blessed. Texas is opening up almost 100%. So it's not as bad, but there's still people in need. Just go knock on the door. Hey, you okay? That's all there is to it. Just
absolutely. Something that comes to mind when you say that is stop letting your differences get in between your commonalities.
Yeah.
Because we have way more in common than freaking politics, than skin complexion, than the size of your bank account. We have way more in common than we don't. So stop letting that crap get in the way of actually making connections that matter, right? That actually doing stuff that matters. Mitch, how about yourself, sir? Alibis?
I would echo just what you just said, Dave, and what Bobby just said. Just check on each other. You know, we're all a member of the VFW. We've made a thing about let's get our membership roster out. Let's you call these 50 people and stay positive. Gosh, absolutely. Like you just said, you and Bobby just said, help somebody. It feels good. It's good for you. It's good for them. Stay positive. Life is too damn short to get sucked into negativity on social media. Social media is so valuable, but it's also dangerous, you know. Absolutely. And so absolutely. And I love your talk algorithms. Facebook knows more about us than we know about ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Which is frightening. So stay positive. Stay positive and help somebody. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
Amen, Mitch. Amen.
The amazing Rob Larson, sir. Any last minutes, alibis?
Yes, sir. Yes, Dave. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody, you guys, for coming on. This is the great time for us to get together and discuss these issues, because there's a lot of stuff we can do moving forward with veteran suicide. And if we don't get together and talk like this, you know, we're not going to be able to make it happen. And so there's a lot of tools available at the VA for all our veterans. But what I want to bring up, are they the right tools? And that's what we need to find out for our veterans, you know, because there are tools for them, but are they the right tools? Do we need to go through and refigure out, okay, some of this stuff isn't working that's available for them, and is there some other stuff that could work better for them and be available? And the one thing that I wanted to think about and just, you know, kind of just, I think any veteran who is dealing with suicide or might have suicidal tendencies and their mental health doctor knows about this, they need to be given. It's the same thing the elderly are given. It's from ADT. If they slip and fall, they hit this button on their thing. It's like a collar, right? And immediately 911 is called to them, right? Veterans who are dealing with suicide, they need to have that collar. They need to have something, if they have a mental health problem, where they can just hit it if they have an emergency. And then this way, 911's dispatched. It could have a GPS on it, you know, so they can get there. I think we should try that. I think somewhere down the road, maybe just a certain category of veterans that are, you know, and let them try it and see if it works. I think because a lot of veterans, you know, there's a lot of ifs. What if they don't have a cell phone? What if they don't have electric? You know, what if they don't have a charging cord for their phone? You know, so you wonder why veterans are committing suicide. If they have an emergency, they might not have what they need to even call for help. You know, and a lot of these veterans, they need something that's always there with them. You know, it can be a reminder that somebody cares. There's somebody always going to be there within a few minutes, whether if they have a panic attack or anxiety or whatever. They'll have a doctor that comes out to their help, because a lot of guys are alone, man, and they have friends. But the VA, you know, it's not open 24 hours, and so this thing would be on them 24 hours a day, even after the VA is closed. It would be on them.
That's interesting, man. That's what a great idea.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is that most law enforcement agencies do not have mental health counselors 24/7. So if you call an officer, dial 911, and somebody comes out there and sees a veteran acting irrational, going crazy, what's going to happen?
Yeah, but you know what?
The outcome's not going to be good.
That's such a great idea that can be implemented in micro doses. So, Mitch, you can implement something like that with the proper funding and resources right there at VFW. And when you get, you know, you advertise to veterans, hey, you know what? If you're starting to feel suicidal, you can come grab one of these panic buttons, and it goes to your phone. It goes to somebody's phone. You know.
Interesting.
So this is an idea that can can be implemented.
Like an SOS. It's like an SOS. You know.
But I'll remind everybody that you have that, right? That resource with the Veteran Suicide Hotline. You have that resource with a friend. You have that resource with a stranger at any veteran ... organization, period. You walk in there and you say, I'm kind of fucked up today. And somebody cares and loves you and is going to take care of you. But you got to take the first step, knowing that somebody does care, somebody does love you, and somebody is there to help you. Okay. Rob, do you have a closing prayer for us?
Yes.
Okay.
Peter, seeing him, said to Jesus, "But Lord, what about this man?" We blushed with embarrassment. How like most of us Peter was, he wanted to evaluate John's assignment before he accepted his own. Would John be given a higher position, a better title, greater opportunities? How often we miss the sublime, unique calling that Christ gives to us by comparisons with others. How often the culture standards of value in positions, power, salaries, size of home or office, and material possessions belong us. And we are blinded, unable to see what has been entrusted to us. Comparisons lead us to competition. Competition leads us to contestation. We muddle and we meddle with the others and their lives. And the master says, claim what I have given to you, assume the calling I've given you, and get moving. Never mind what I'm giving to or doing with others. You follow me. That will keep us so busy that there will be little time for evaluating how other people are following the Lord. Amen.
Amen.
And thank you, gentlemen, for being here, bestowing your greatness, your knowledge, and your love to everyone here. Rob, thank you, sir. And with that, we're going to end the session today. And I wish everybody an amazing rest of your week, rest of your month, and rest of your life. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you,
Our pleasure.
Mitch. Dave.
Our pleasure. Ciao, ciao.